Alright, so I am now live with Loop Hero. Going to be starting a new game. I didn't press skip tutorial, I'm a fool. This is fine. Just how it is sometimes. The stars in the sky are going out, one by one. But no one notices it. No one can stop it. I'm racing to the last place where there's still hope. I need to make it before it is too late. Sounds vague and evil quickly fade.
Press skip tutorial, I'm a fool.
The world will be destroyed. Even the memory of it will be gone. I have my
This is
own
fine.
stream open in the
Just how it is
background,
sometimes.
and I can hear myself. I'm a fool. I'm a fool. Okay. And even if there is absolutely no chance of bringing it all back, there'll always be someone who is willing to do the impossible. In a place without space, without time, without memories. Where am I? I can't see anything except this path. My head is killing me. I remember only a skeleton with a staff in the sky. This darkness is coming from him. Did he destroy everything around here? Just standing here won't do me any good, I guess. Okay, good. 2 times speed's already on. Hope I'll be able to find some shelter before nightfall. If such a thing as night still even exists without a sky, of course. A living ball of slime. Quite a nuisance. They digest anything they can. Hey, I remember this creature. Maybe I just need to freshen up on my memory and everything will go back to normal. Love the optimism. It's hard to fight with your bare hands. I think there's a weapon in the remains of that thing that's not fully digested. Ooh, a sword. I think I remember there was a grove nearby. Are these even my memories? They belong to that slime. I'm going to retreat out of this as soon as I can so that I can avoid doing tutorial stuff. There's also a really big power ramp in this game. Forest Ratwolf. I was right. Some emotional stress, a few colorful images, and a bit of adrenaline, and everything will be forgotten like a bad dream. Or remembered as a bad... Damn. Good thing that nobody's listening. Hey, you know what, guy? I agree. It's a good thing that nobody's listening. I'm on the map. A new weapon. Great, so there's a mountain over there, and there's a forest. The world's just like new. Branches and stones in my backpack are a sure sign of that. And there's camp right there. Ooh. Oh no, it's making me continue my journey. It's time to get some rest. Oh, thank goodness. Retreat. Now we get even more story. It's cold and dark here. Small fire can solve both of these problems. Boom, campfire. Click anywhere to complete the tutorial. I forgot how bare bones the menu was when you first start. Path. Everything is wrong, but I remember. Looks like a completely different place, and it's empty again. My actions have any meaning? Like I have a choice. If I need to give up and cry to save the world, I am the worst savior of all. Let's do it. I love this guy's confidence. He just assumes that he's going to be the savior of the world. I guess I can drop a spider cocoon down. I don't really want to overwhelm myself with enemies, so I'm not going to place too many enemy tiles right now. Just have some more max HP. Really, game, I don't really think I can optimize too much here. It's more of just a case of retreating instead of being like, oh yeah, I can just keep going and then die and lose everything. Or lose 60% of everything. And only getting to keep 30% of the resources is actually such a big drag. So I'm going to try to avoid that if possible. Legion and vampirism, excellent. I'm gonna place that battlefield though. Chest on the next loop around. Let's place it here so the chest spawns here. Place a couple meadows. Do I start with chrono crystals? I don't remember. Carry on. Get my little chest. Got a shield. Hoorah. That's not any kind of... Fortunately. My wife and child are having a very interesting conversation right now. It doesn't involve any words. It's just them going back and forth to each other. This is expected from my son. He's less than a year old. My wife is much, much older than a year. I do not necessarily expect that from her. She's also the wonderful person in chat who complained about the lady in the background. You know, her. That's alright. She can complain about herself if she wants. Another meadow. Meadows will be very helpful early game, I think. Just because of the HP recovery. So if anyone who is watching who hasn't seen Loop Hero yet, the premise is basically you gear up this little guy to run around this loop and kill things like slimes and stuff like that, spiders, vampires, rat wolves, all manner of things. The idea being that you're collecting materials that will remain consistent in this world where everything else hasn't. You just keep going, really. I'm not good at explaining things. Place another grove. What would you? A couple more loops. I'll start building a mountain peak. Probably want to run into like the 5th loop or something like that for this early one. We have 2 bars here. One's the day bar, one is the map completion bar. When the map completion bar goes all the way up, boss spawns. As it says right there. When this bar is filled, the boss of the chapter will appear on the campfire tile. That being this one. You don't have to fight the boss. You'll have the ability to retreat. And once you've defeated the boss, you can continue on to continue gathering more resources. It's a big jump up to the fence. Oh, look, he's saying words. He's saying mum. My son is the cutest. Down another spider cocoon. Another beacon over here. Road lanterns so I don't overwhelm myself. My son is shouting now. Really? Is that how you feel? He has literally made his mouth into an O shape and it's just going ah. I don't have a problem with it. It's kind of funny actually, all things considered. But you know? He is very talkative right now. But he likes shouting. What do you mean? Oh, we got a treasury. Place down that treasury down here. Drop a bunch of meadows around it. When it reaches being fully surrounded. So when you have like all 8 squares filled, then the treasury opens. You get treasures based on your loop level, and it then spawns a gargoyle once every 3 days, I think, or once every 2 days. Don't quote me on that. I can't remember. I have a comfortable amount of health. I'm not losing too much damage. That vampirism helps. I hope I'm audible this time. Earlier I tested my stream and I could barely hear myself. More meadows for healing per day. Place another one. Finish building my large mountain. Normally I prefer building it out of the rocks, but this is really early game, so it doesn't matter. It's all more damage. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm not optimizing this. Believing cards are great. They delete a card that's on your map currently, so I might actually just fill up this treasury, delete it because it's early game. Ooh, counter. I just need 2 more items and the treasury will be filled. I do like attack speed, but I honestly think counter will serve me better in this situation if he doesn't get evaded when that happens. So there's a few broken builds in this game. Later on, there's a tile called Forest. Talking to a goblin. Stop! Where'd these goblins come from? I don't remember remembering you. We remembered ourselves. Now give us all you've got. You have no idea what's going on, right? Why don't you help me restore order in this world first, and then you can do anything you want. Goblin must rob. No other order in the world. Fair enough. Guess I don't have any valid objection here. Oh wait, I do have one. How about... And then proceeds to kill the goblin, which has far greater attack speed. Strange how these creatures appeared here on their own. Maybe it means everything is actually not so bad and that the world is trying to restore itself. Or that even the apocalypse isn't enough to get rid of some pests. I'm not really a fan of goblins. They actually get they can end some good loops if you're not paying attention. But later on there's some really OP builds with some other tiles that you get. There's a tile called the Thicket and Woods tile that increases attack speed. And there is a class called the Necromancer. It's the 3rd class that you can unlock. You're unlocking most things. Generally speaking, you'll unlock the Rogue second. And with the Necromancer's whole shtick is that he summons skeletons. He summons skeletons with his attack speed. So every time that the knight's attacking now, every time he does that swing, that would be like a skeleton being summoned, as opposed to the little heroes taking a swing at whatever it's fighting. See, I got some nice stuff out of that, and I just Oblivion it. Oh yeah, gargoyle every 3 days. Oblivion the empty treasury. Shields. Better. That ring's better. So Necromancer summon based on their attack speed. So basically what the idea is, there's also river, which doubles the effects of all landmark tiles. So what you do is you'd run stacks of thickets, which are 2% attack speed, and you'd run rows of rivers down along them. And what this does is it just repeatedly stacks up your attack speed. And so I've gotten over 500% attack speed numerous times, and it's actually really ridiculous. There's a couple level up perks that you get. I unfortunately don't have experience yet, so I can't really show that. When you get these level up perks, there are certain perks for each class. Like the Necromancer has a perk called Lay Down Your Life, or Skeleton's Ambition. Skeleton's Ambition gives the skeletons additional attack power and restores their HP every time they kill an opponent. Laying down one's life is every time the hero takes damage, it's split evenly amongst all of the skeletons, which is really good. No! What do you mean, no? You want to save the world. You want to ask for our help. Our answer is no! How did you... But why no? We see far away. We see deep inside. For a long time there has been just emptiness instead of sky, but it doesn't stop us from seeing. Your saving of the world is one-sided and naive. Each person sees their own way of saving the world. That's why no one will ever join you. Fine. I don't fully understand it, but tell me your version. What does to save the world mean to you? My progeny and my kin. For them to be strong and to live. It's a part of the cycle of life and death. It is life itself. It is the world. I will kill you and feed your remains to my starving younglings. And life will go on. How many lives does your blade give birth to by killing again and again? Only one. I don't want you or your children to die from starvation. Please, try to see reason. If my mission succeeds, Harpies can have all the sky and all the hunting grounds they need. I can't feed my children with your beautiful words. It's time to say goodbye. Oh, Harpies are actually really strong early game. Apparently I'm stronger. Jesus. I feel awful. By fixing one evil, I'm becoming a source of another. There's no home for Harpies except the highest mountains. But there's no food there. Can't imagine how they manage to survive if their mountains are cut from reality. And it's probably a pretty rough life in all honesty. Yeah, having a level 6 sword is pretty nice. This is bad. These goblins are gonna kill me. Oh, I survived. I'm going to Oblivion that. And I am going to dump down all of these materials so that I can hopefully dump all the materials so that I receive the drops. Hopefully they help me survive just a little bit longer. I just have to survive until I get back. And once I'm finished the 5th loop, I'll retreat. And since I don't have to worry about it spawning, I'll set a grove there so I can grab the sticks. Okay, now we retreat. Suddenly there's people around. Can't believe it. Hey everybody, the boy has managed to return. Survivors? Does this mean I'm not alone anymore? Where did you come from? Is there still a place without darkness? We don't know where we came from, or we can't remember. These people you see are only a small part of what's left of the group, I think. You're not sure? We're not sure. We reached that conclusion because of the abandoned luggage and leftover daily rations. With each day, new signs of presence of people that, as far as everyone here knows, have never even been with us. It's like we forgot them. You forgot? Exactly. It's like people disappear every day and we instantly forget they even existed. Almost as if we forgot the place we came from, and our families, and maybe even ourselves. My name is Yota. That's the part I still remember. Nobody else's memory is in much better shape. That's why I remember so little about myself. Everything's forgotten. But wait, you said that I'd managed to return? That means you remembered I was here. Yes, that's why it's so important to us. We saw you leave, but you were gone before we could approach you. Listen, we can't wander around in this emptiness anymore. There's a campfire and a few sleeping bags here. A real luxury in these dark times. What do you say? Oh, of course. I'd be very grateful if we could team up. I want to restore everything. I've begun to remember the world as it was before. But there's no point to it without other people. It's too lonely without them. Remembering the world? I don't understand what you're talking about. I'm too exhausted. But we'd be glad if you could help us, and we'd be glad to help you. Just don't ask us to go with you. I don't know how you managed to return, but for us, leaving the group is too dangerous. I will ask no such thing of you. For now, I just want to have a place to return to. A place where I can hear other people's voices. We weren't joking about helping you. Here are the few things that survive the cataclysm and don't vanish away. Can't be forgotten. Take them. You might need them. Yay! Materials. What can I build? I can build a kitchen. I can build a kitchen. You know the difference between a good cook and a bad cook? Food made by a good cook is tastier. What, you were waiting for something more elaborate? Sometimes the truth is very simple. Look, I have a cauldron, a hearth, a couple of knives, a bucket of potatoes, 3 onions, and some ham. Nothing special. Everything's very simple. But give me a few minutes and everyone in this camp will be running to my table following the tasty smell of a good stew. The man has some good wisdom. Can't unlock anything else yet. Gonna have to go on another expedition. But we now have access to our deck, which has a blood grove and chrono crystals in it. Chrono crystals are, in my opinion, good for meadows early game. Blood grove is a little too strong right now. But we will see. On to our next journey across. Do I have CRT on? I do have the CRT shader. The CRT shader gives it that kind of old TV screen look. I actually quite enjoy it. Pixel fonts aren't bad, but I find the high-res and dyslexia-friendly ones a lot better just to read in general. Stylistically, I really like the pixel fonts, but for ease of access, I'm gonna use the high-res fonts. So once again, probably gonna aim for loop 5 or 6, depending on what kind of drops we get. A lot of slimes in the first loop. Place a couple groves, then I will start place a road lantern to make sure I don't get overwhelmed. Place that there. It's okay that the grove's on the other side of it. Place a cemetery, even though skeletons are pretty strong. They're really slow, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue. Drop some spiders over here. I have chrono crystals, so I'm gonna want to put the meadows beside the road. Chrono crystals are an adjacent tile, so they'll go along the outside or inside of the road. And chrono crystals with the meadows will allow me to regain more health per day. It's similarly why I'm adding rocks and mountains beside the meadows. If you have a tile that isn't a meadow beside a meadow, then the meadows will turn into blooming meadows, which instead of healing 2 HP at the start of each day, heal 3 HP. It stacks up nicely. I still have yet to get a chrono crystal card, but still just a start. Probably should have taken off Vampire Mansion. I don't really use vampires too much in the earliest part of the game. I find their life leech to be a little difficult to deal with sometimes until I get like Rogue. Once I have Rogue, I find it more manageable because of how fast you go. Actually, basically the further on you get in the game, the more manageable everything gets in the game. I find it ramps up nicely. There's a nice balance of playing the game to grind and get things, and advancing the story and stuff like that. I place a beacon that boosts movements. Place it here. Also boosts attack speed, but it boosts attack speed for everything. So there will be a little symbol here in the top right when I get to it that will explain that everything has a boosted attack speed by 20%. Also boosts movement speed. Leave that regen, because that regen is nice. Be alive for longer. So I'll take that instead of the evasion, because I haven't been paying enough attention really to see how many times I've been hitting the evade. Because like had I been hitting it consistently and I just dropped it, wouldn't have been a good thing. Only 10%, and it's only loop 3, so it's fine. Regen's pretty nice early game, especially if I can keep getting my defense up as well and able to do damage. Another treasury, so I'll do a treasury stack. Yay, it's a good thing I didn't put another thing right there. Now this, so opening that treasury up, and I'm collecting resources from both of them. It's ideal, really. I'll leave an open spot on this one too, and then just before I go I can pop both of them and it'll be fantastic. We'll receive all those extra resources. I don't know why I keep looking at them. I'm probably going to be stuck with that sword for a little bit. It's a lower level, it's most likely not going to be worth it for me at this point. I don't know, I'm not a pro loop hero player. Haven't experienced everything there is to experience in the game. I just wanted to share playing it. There's a lot of time where you can just idly not do things. I mean, I could be placing all of these mountains and rocks to boost my HP, but that also boosts my fill meter. See, and there's glow of the beacon, increases all creatures' attack speed by 20%. I like to place battlefields directly after the campfire so that you can get it right at the start. It's nice to go into a loop with a new weapon. I know some streamers like to place it elsewise, like for example Lobos Jr. places it just before the campfire. I don't know if he's changed doing that. I actually haven't watched too many of his Loop Hero streams, but he was placing it before so that he'd get an item just before he got to the campfire, and then he would already be starting it with the item from the end of the last run. I find that it's better to wait because when you level up your loop, you level up the quality of the gear you're getting. That was an upgrade. I'll take that. And we finally got a chrono crystal, so we can place that there. Jumped our attack speed, our HP per day up quite a bit. Place another road lantern here. This is early game, so like this will just stop us from being overwhelmed by enemies. So long as I don't overwhelm myself with enemies. It's more on me than anything. I guess let's set up another one over here. the Chrono Crystal there. Chrono Crystal is also, it doubles the effects of a day's passing on adjacent tiles, so it gives me a 5. I'm not sure if it gives me a 10% chance of spawning a slime, or 5% chance of spawning 2 slimes. Either way, that's something else that it affects, is the spawn rate on the tiles that it's beside. Most tiles have a day-based spawn rate. Like, for example, spider cocoons. Spider cocoons, Chrono Crystals makes a lot of spiders really fast. And this is great if you're doing like Necromancer strats where you want to try to have every single tile with 4 enemies on it as quickly as possible, but it's not quite the same for warrior strats. My main file was mostly a lot of learning the game and experimenting, seeing what I could do. And then the more interested I got, the more I wanted to watch other people play the game to see how they did it. And now I want to show people how I do it. But really, game, there's not a whole lot for you to really do. Like, I guess I could be placing all of these tiles immediately. You goblins. I don't like goblins. Leave that one away so that it doesn't turn into a large mountain peak, but I still get a bunch of the things. Another cemetery there. I just don't want to deal with harpies right now. My vampirism and regen aren't enough. So then I don't even have, then I just have vampirism, but I should attack a lot faster, so I'll end it at this loop because this power spike on the next loop will end up getting me killed. I got a few full items. It's not a bad outcome. Place the rocks just so I can collect. None of these give me resources, so I'm not going to bother placing any of them before I go. Retreat. Another success. You've returned and we still remember you. Unbelievable. Yeah, it's good to be back, but I'd hardly call it a success. My old memories of the world are gone. The path is empty again. There's only darkness everywhere I look. Interesting. So technically you remember that there are things you have forgotten. We should find a way to use that. Let's talk about something more positive. We managed to tidy this place up. It's time for the next step. What do you have in mind? Expanding the camp. We have all sorts of craftsmen, from cooks to an alchemist, but they all need a place to work. But we can't use materials from around here. Turn away from a second for a branch or stone you've just found and it's gone. I'm afraid only you can solve this problem. The materials that survived your trip always look suitable for building. These are just stones and splinters. How can you build something with them? Curious, eh? I noticed it with the fire you've made. The things you obtain somehow infect everything similar with stability. Only in small amounts, but it's still something. Even if small branch is enough to make a wooden wall exist without constant supervision. Interesting. Can I actually build anything right now? No. More of the herbs and stuff like that. So, you haven't been killed yet. Amazing. You haven't lost any resources. You're a keeper, aren't you? But I've forgotten 3 pieces of the world. Oh no. Remove Vampire Mansion, because I'm just not going to use it. call that it. Give me more deck consistency, hopefully. After this loop, I might switch over to my regular save file and show off what a Necromancer run looks like. Because I enjoy a lot of the mechanics, but like Necromancers just make grinding so easy. Rogues do too once you have items. Actually, the game just gets much easier once you have a lot of supply items and stuff like that. Like the certain items don't necessarily break the game, but they make it a lot easier. Like there's items that can give you HP percent based on how many full supplies you've collected and stuff like that, and it stacks up really quickly. There's things that increase vampirism. Set this up first. Meadows. I'll only set rocks down there. Save mountains for now. That right there. And I have a weapon now. Actually, no, I'm not gonna save the mountains. I'm just gonna place them. This is early game, so it doesn't matter too much. Not like I'm trying to speed run the game or optimize the speed run. Although I'm sure that would take a lot of RNG based on the weapons you get. I mean, later on, once you have certain supplies, I guess you could very quickly run. Speaking of vampirism, yeah, I'll take that instead. I guess you could very quickly run each of the different chapters, but that takes getting to end game. You could do it before end game, I suppose, but for optimal speed, you'd want to get to end game, grind out all the things. I don't even know if there is a speedrun category for this game or not. I'll just let it run for a second and go look it up. Go to speedrun.com. See if there's anything for Loop Hero. Go games, Loop Hero. Oh, there are runs. Chapter 1, run with a warrior. It's 2 minutes and 36 seconds. Same with Rogue. Necromancer takes 4 minutes. It's chapter run. So, see, any percent. Takes 3 hours and 6 minutes. On PC, there's only one run for version 1.012, which is the full version. Hasn't been any 100% runs. There has been one chapter 1 fresh file. It was 11 minutes. Chapter 2's quickest run, 6 minutes with Necromancer, 3 minutes with Rogue, 4 minutes with Warrior. Chapter 3, 7 minutes, 6 with Rogue, 14 with Necro. Chapter 4, 8 minutes with Warrior, 8 minutes with Rogue, 17 minutes with Necromancer. I might just try to get a free world record. I'm gonna take first place on the chapter 4 Necromancer. 17 minutes. I could probably do it faster. And yeah, I gotta see what the rules are on this, because I don't know that there are new rules. There we go. Be the chosen chapter. Any and all cards, upgrades, and supplies are allowed. Players are not allowed to change any of the game files. Timing for each chapter starts when the hero starts moving on the map and ends when the boss's health reaches 0. You're allowed to pause time before the hero starts moving and unpause to start your timer. The expedition time can be used as an alternative timing method. If you're using this method, runners must show the expedition timer from before and after the run is over. Time will be calculated by the moderators before runs are verified. On-screen timer is not required, but is helpful. All runs will be retimed. The page just refreshed itself. That was odd. Alright, so let's go take a look at Loop Hero, see what I have gained. I was off screen. some better armor. I'll just stick with the magic damage for now. There's the treasury there. Start stacking things around that. I'll leave it open there just in case I get another treasury. That'd be nice. Another battlefield. At least that now. So, ideally, I would like to place this as close to my campfire as possible. If I place it here, everywhere that the two battlefields intersect will leave a blood path which spawns a blood clot. So if I place it here, their intersecting patch is right here, so no blood path, which means no blood clots, which is good. Very, very good. In there. There's a cemetery there. Guess I should let some things spawn so that continue playing the game. You keep rock. There's the goblin camp, and I'll just oblivion that immediately. Early game, I find the difficulty ramps really quickly with the enemies and stuff like that. Like, loop level 4, you can clear it no problem, then you'll get to loop level 5 and all of a sudden you're getting smashed. Or at least that's what it feels like. I don't know if other people feel this way, but... So that's a big enough upgrade there. Fill up this row right here again. Look at this rat wolf just evading the shit out of me. Oh, I evaded him. Pro play, pro play. I love how epic this music gets. Do 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 do. I really like the way these tracks loop. Fence is worth it. Take much less damage now. My regen is basically catching me up each time before I take the next hit. Beautiful. 3.6 regen is actually pretty huge apparently. Fix this beacon so I can hustle a little bit more. Use both the beacons. I'll place all of the things. Covers a lot of squares. That covers a lot of squares. Place some meadow there. Place some there. There we go. Jumps my HP up per day to plus 48. It's pretty nice in my opinion. Oh, this regen per sec is doing big things for me right now. Another item there. Once I have an oblivion, I can pop that. Well, maybe I'll save it. I don't know yet. Because you do get better resources the further in you are. It lowers my regen a bit, but okay. Because it gives me a lot more bonuses and other things. Start getting overwhelmed with enemies up here, be careful. Your road lane. I should just place it at the start of the loop, not at the end of the loop. better at the end of the loop because enemies will spawn over the course of the loop. The closer you are to the end, the closer you put the enemy spawns to the end of the loop, the more chances they have to spawn, as more days will have passed. So I'd say that's decent enough. Put that there. Good to do. I think the limit for chapter 1 is 10. You can only get up to 10 full items. So not too much point in going any further than that, which would give me that. Like I've not maxed out stable. Once I have 10 each of these, I no longer collect resources. Okay. I actually don't have things to place for... I guess I could place like beacons and stuff like that. Gotta go fast. Gotta place a beacon, why not? Overlapping chrono crystals doesn't boost. Having 2 of them won't double this twice. Rivers, however, stack. So if you have a river surrounding a single piece, it would do 2 plus 2 plus 2. Whoa, look, 75 damage after all 3 of them hit. Wolf. Vampirism or damage to all? With the damage to all for now. 13 damage to all. Actually pretty decent. I'm not gonna fight the boss in this run. But I will. I don't know what I was gonna say then. I'm just not gonna fight the boss in this run. I'm gonna go another loop or 2 though. Chance of becoming. Oh yes, battlefields also give the items that die in them a chance of become. The items that die? The enemies that die in them a chance of becoming a ghost. Which is great later on when you have the golden cards and stuff like that. You use an ancestral crypt and stuff like that. Turns into a ghost. Ghosts also have souls, so gain more HP for killing a ghost. It's fantastic. Magic damage or damage to all? No, it's a huge jump up for the HP, so that alone makes it worth it. There's a ghost. I'm just geeking me out. What a guy. That's some big regen. We'll take it. looking at other screens right now. Because that's the way it be. Oh, look at this. Ghost of a ghost. Isn't that fantastic? And Ghostception right there. All enemies have a 20% chance of becoming a ghost when they die. 724 is actually huge. Is this so much? I'm not gonna get any more treasuries, I don't think. And if I do, then I'm a fool for having done this. Not gonna do that one in the middle. That there. So one space here will finish both these treasuries. One space here will finish that one, and I'm going to do that at the end of this loop, I believe. Even though I'm getting some decent rolls on equipment and stuff like that. Better to live to fight another day. These guys aren't doing that much damage to me. I'm just getting closer than I would like to facing the boss. Only so many more items before the boss spawns. And the first boss, the Lich, requires... It doesn't require you to have multiple oblivions and stuff like that. Having a bunch just really helps. Alright, I'm gonna finish this loop, I think. Spam all the items. Place everything that'll give me more materials just from being placed. Those doesn't really matter where I place them. And then I retreat. I'm not even gonna bother looking at that stuff. I can build a gymnasium, a herbalist hut, a smithy. Oh, the smithy's big. Do I want to build a smithy first or the herbalist hut? Or the gymnasium? The gymnasium lets me level, I think. Gymnasium lets me level, but herbalist hut gives me potions. Potions are huge. They add a lot to survivability. Smithy gives me starting equipment and lets me craft stuff. If the supply depot is built, so I'd have to build a supply depot, which means I need a gymnasium. And so I build a herbalist hut. It's a miracle that we could find some fertile soil. Now we were able to save some seeds of precious healing herbs. But the real miracle is all these healing poultices and bombs still have any effect. We already lost many people because of the cataclysm. It'd be nice not to lose more to disease. These potions can also help you. Take a bottle or two on your trip and your chances of getting back unharmed will be much higher. Thank you, kind old lady. I greatly appreciate it. So before I wrap this up, I'm just going to jump over to my main save slot, which as you can see it has 52 hours on it, and like I'm still not at the end of the game. I don't know how much of that time, however, was just me leaving it sitting open on a random screen, and having just walked away, and or how many times I just left it paused. I need to get that alchemist tent so I can do some alchemy. Don't have alchemy yet. This is the supply. Antique shelves and the alchemist shelf are both huge. And then for the tools, other than like the herbalist sickle, I personally haven't really seen anything that's been too useful. The foods, in my opinion, aren't the most useful. Same with jewelry. I haven't seen too many useful jewelries. This exquisite mirror is 6% chance to redirect lightning from a storm temple, which is an AoE map tile. It strikes everywhere in a cross-shaped pattern from where you place it. That would give me an 18% chance to reflect the lightning, which is decent if you're using the storm temples. And the more you have of those, the higher you can stack it. So if you have enough of them, you could stack it all the way up to 100%, and then you could just use those as extra damage on your enemies. Let's upgrade a mud hut while we're here. Turn it into a shack. Gives me more item slots. So, let's see, all the way on chapter 4. This is my usual setup. Well, actually, this isn't my usual setup for when I'm doing farming runs. Usually for farming runs, I will also occasionally throw in villages. They give you good items and stuff like that, fill potions. Or no, they heal you. Don't fill your potion. I'm a fool. They give you healing, they give you a quest, but if you place a vampire mansion next to a village, it turns it into a ransacked village, which after 3 loops will give you a turn it into a count's land. My encyclopedia here so ransacked village spawns up to 4 ghouls, transforms into something useful. Something useful is the count's land. There's bigger HP and quest with better rewards. Actually, it's not even bigger HP, is it? 15 plus 5 times loop HP. This is 15 plus 5 times loop HP. Yeah, so it heals you for the same amount and just gives you better rewards from your quest. So, that's... I would use it to have the 4 ghouls on it, and then once it becomes the Count's Lands, just delete it and replace it with another village. So I'm just gonna do my usual build up with the Necromancer. Probably gonna be pretty quiet this time in all honesty. Throw that in the middle there, just cause. So as you can see, when he attacks and stuff like that, instead of attacking, he summons a skeleton. So the key idea when farming with the Necromancer, is that you want to get as much attack speed as physically possible, and then get the 3 special traits that I had mentioned earlier, or the 2 special traits that I mentioned earlier. The Ambitions of the Dead. Art of Control helps because it gives you +1 max skeletons. The Ambitions of the Dead is the one that heals them, gives them an attack boost anytime they kill an enemy. Laying down one's life, sorry about that. Laying down one's life is also helpful because it splits the damage that the Necromancer receives amongst living skeletons. And there's Unseen Care. It gives you energy armor, which is the magic HP. That's also really big if you get it early, in my opinion. I don't know why I brought Battlefield. I don't usually use Battlefields. I should be putting this Vampire Mansion down. I should be putting this Battlefield here. I might actually make blood clots with that, just because I find that the Necromancers stack up pretty quickly, especially the higher your attack speed gets. With rivers and the thickets, it boosts your attack speed pretty quickly. I'm not placing any forests because they only boost it by 1%. Just more ideal to place the ones that boost it by 2%. I also don't know why I have Chrono Crystals. I don't need those at all. If any of these had max skeletons, that would be what I wanted. Right now I'll take that attack speed. Oh, why am I not equipping this ring? I don't even have a ring equipped. Because ideally you want to get to 4 skeletons as quickly as you can. Or in my opinion, you want to get to 4 skeletons because being able to summon those extra skeletons really helps. Temporal Beak. Yes. I will place this. That spawns a Time Watcher. Oh, that has max skeletons +1. I'll use that. It's a downgrade, but max skeletons +1, baby. Let's go. Okay, so temporal beacon speeds up time. I want to place it somewhere where it's going to hit a lot of squares. I want to count. That's good enough. See him do a little bit of a hustle when he's walking by it. Actually, do these ones speed up movement speed or just daytime? They might just speed up day. Speed time by 50%. I can see why it would take longer for necromancers to get good times. They just take longer to build up, I guess. Although once you're at endgame and can use any number of supply items, like you should be able to cheese that pretty quickly. Oh, I'll keep my max skeletons for now. I'll place this grove, however. This is Chrono Crystal just to maybe speed up spawn slimes nearby. Like I said, maybe it gave me a 10% chance to increase. Maybe Chrono Crystal does nothing, I'm just wrong. It's also possible. Here's the Watcher. What did I call him before? Because I don't think I called him. I think I called him something else. Oh, wait, why did I replace that ring? What am I doing? I'm not playing optimally with my gear at all right now. Cemetery. Cemetery here. Good. Why not? I don't even think I need the regen. Is anything getting past my magic armor? That's the real question. I have a grove. There we go, Blood Grove. More river. Vampire mansions. We will place these. We want more things in the field as quickly as possible while playing as a necromancer, because that'll give me more gear and it'll give me more chance to get thickets and rivers, which are huge. What I want. I want thickets and rivers. Having 11 potions does me fantastic as well. Wow, I have so much river. But I'm not getting any of the thickets I need. No, dude, I'll just place this bookery. That'll help me get one faster. Bookeries replace 3 of your cards each time you pass by. And you pass by up to like 20 times before it breaks. Uh-oh. I fucked up. Good thing I have a res. I also have a free res once once I die again, I'll have another free res. That one won't be automatic though, I only get a singular free res with that. Now if I had laying down one's life, that would have been a non-issue. I'm going to place this right here so that I can switch out some of these cards, hopefully. Fuck it, just for safety's sake. Do that and place a new grove there. There we go, thicket, huge. River, go up one more. I need more thickets. Attack speed's at 40% only, that's not that good really. Usually I stack it up a lot faster than this. But I didn't even bring the right things. And I'm not getting luck on these thickets. Once I raise my skeleton quality, I'll be getting better skeletons as well, so they'll be able to do more damage, be more effective in general. Right now I'm just getting these basic ass friendly skeletons. Oh, my magic HP is already gone. Damn, I think I'm about to level up though. So like, if I can manage to level up before I die, that'd be very... No, I'm dead. Now I have to resurrect. I also just take all, but like that won't help me show what I'm trying to show. I'm also very close to having the lich spawn here. I think this just might not be the run. We'll have to see after I level. Yeah, this is not the run actually. That's greatly unfortunate. So now we're gonna place all of our forests and thickets so that we can go as fast as we possibly can. Get to retreat, and then I'm gonna go collect all my stuff. And I'm actually probably going to end the stream here. We'll place all of the thickets and forests. That summons the lich. There's the lich's palace. That's generally speaking the reason you want to have a lot of oblivions in chapter 1. The lich is the first boss. And having oblivions means that you can eliminate all those pieces of the lich's palace, which reduces his overall HP. And so like, even though I'm ending, I'm still going to continue building out the shape of the river. Just cuz, and then retreat. Normally it goes a lot better than that. I did not have optimal cards with me there. I actually have no idea what I was doing like this. I'm just gonna empty everything out. So, generally speaking, for my Necromancer build, bring Ancestral Crypt. I'll bring the Oblivion card, because Oblivions are huge. Forest and River are, in my opinion, necessary. Spider Cocoons really help you ramp up at the start, because you want to fill as many tiles as you can with 4 enemies as quickly as you can. So I'll normally bring all of these. I won't bring the village and the wheat field because they don't help too much. Bring vampires, bring a blood grove, and really I think that would be all I need. I don't think I need too much else for this. You can rush your XP faster if you bring the suburbs, but I don't think that's necessary. I don't know, maybe if you're optimizing for a speed run, being able to get more XP faster to ramp up faster would be better, but who knows. Expedition time 46, 24, 14. So that's what they mean by checking it beforehand. Then you go start, run it, and then you just go afterwards and go back to statistics and look at expedition time. Maybe I'll speedrun this game. Anyway, I think that'll be all for tonight. Thank you for watching. I don't think anyone did, but that's alright. Anyway, have a great night.